Hi, it's Robbie from Southern California, and today we're going to make dots. Some of you call them buttons, but they're hummingbird feeders. And when you go to buy them, they can cost a lot of money, but we're going to make them here for free or next to nothing. And we're going to make them fun. Look at this one. This one I designed for the garden or flower pot, made with a solar light that I got at the dollar store. It had a little butterfly in it. And then I got some wire that was on the stiff side, but thin. Here you make 2 holes in the ramekin. We're going to need 2 ramekins and 1 lid. In other words, 2 bottoms and 1 top. And sometimes you get these with your takeout food, so keep that in mind. Or you can buy them. They're real cheap, and I heard that Dollar Tree sells them too. Now we slide our wire through, and we're going to give it a little pinch because we want that ramekin that's going to go in there holding our nectar to sit in there. If it bulges out, it won't fit in. Now we just cut our wire and we put it on the solar light. Now notice here I'm making it a little bit on the outside. In other words, I'm not putting it flush against the tube because we need to get that to lift up. See, it's tapered, the ramekin bottom. We need to have it standing upright. You'll see as we go, and you'll understand it that way. See, so we're going to leave like a 1/4 of an inch or so, just a little bit. And this way we'll be able to get it standing up. Now, you can go to the dollar stores or anywhere you want and get silk flowers. I took something that looked a little more realistic and would add some cute color to it. And I thought little daisies would be good. Cut your wire and go ahead and make it flat. You don't want to cut yourself. We're going to go ahead, isn't that cute? But the flowers are going to add a little more decor. We're going to cut the back of the flowers as far down as we can. We don't need any part of the stem with this. And then we're going to use a hot glue gun. Decide exactly where you want your ramekin to be on this, your button, because once it's glued, it's not going to slide up and down. And you want to make sure you have space to take it in and out in case you've got a fancy light and it's got a big top. Now we put our first one on, and keep in mind, the glue is going to be stuck to the flower and the wire. And once it's dry, it is not going anywhere. That means this will not slide. So you want to make sure right in the beginning, you've got it exactly where you want it to sit permanently. You can see the ramekin I'm using here is over a year old. I should repaint it or get a new one. Now we're going to start adding on the rest of the flowers, and we can go ahead and start gluing the wire so it's not going to go anywhere. And also the flowers will adhere better if you start adding on a little bit of glue before we really get started adding on the rest of the layers of flowers. This has been really a lot of fun to make, and the birds love them. And they're so easy to bring in, open up, wash, clean, refill, and put them back outside. So now we just go ahead and start cutting off our flowers, and we're going to trim them down, all of them, because it won't stick with the stem there. And we're going to just hot glue them on all the way around. This gives it a cute look, and it's going to last a year or so. I've got one out there that's 2 years old, but they will fade a little bit, but it's just so cute. And then at night it glows, which is really nice. Look at that. Now we're going to have to do one more thing. Remember, we want the ramekin to sit upright. We don't want it to lean that much because we don't want our nectar to spill out. So I put a flower underneath, and that kept it more in an upright position. How you gotta kind of manipulate it to be underneath. It doesn't have to be perfectly upright. It's okay if it tips, but just a little bit. Now, since we've got the leaves, and I thought we can add a little more design to it, totally up to you. I went ahead and clipped a bunch of leaves off and just stuck leaves in, around the flowers to give it a little more color, and I think it filled in nicely. And this way you don't have just flowers. Doesn't that look nice? I think it looks really cute. Can you imagine? Look how cute this looks. Not only do you have a solar light for your planter outside, you've got a hummingbird feeder, and the birds love it. So when you go outside and you see the orioles all over and they're pushing the hummingbirds away, well, the orioles have not fed out of these dots, and they don't bother the hummingbirds, so they can come in and take a nice drink and know that nobody's going to bother them. These are just so much fun and easy to make. I'm going to give you a refresher course on how we make the dots so there won't be any doubts, and you'll be able to make yours too from another video when I started them. I make these little hummingbird feeders. They're made out of these things. Let me show you what they are. Let's start with that. They are called souffle cups. And I got these at Smart & Final, and they come $125. They're like $2, $3 a piece. This one is the lids. I don't know why they sell the lids in cups separate, but these are the lids and these are the cups, and you get 125. You can get them at grocery stores sometimes, and I've also seen them at dollar stores. So you have to look around to see who sells the cups. But they're clear cups, and what they use them for, I guess if you have takeout, and a lot of you have takeout right now, so it's a great way to repurpose that, is they use them for your condiments, like ketchup, soy sauce, mustard, mayonnaise. And then when you get them home, you've got this little container and it's got a lid on it, and you use your condiments and then you throw them away? No, don't throw them away. Wash them up. They're food grade, and you can make the cutest hummingbird feeders. These are so easy to make. All you need to do is the caps are either clear or they're white. You want to paint them red. Red is a color that hummingbirds gravitate towards. It's the first thing they check out. The second color they check out is yellow. So what would be really good, and follow them up painting a yellow flower on it. They look for that yellow flower, and then they do look for a dot. So I tend to put a black dot in the center, and this cap is going to snap on here. Do not paint the inside, and do not paint the inside of the cap. You're only going to paint the outside. Use non-toxic paint. I bought this at Michael's. You can get it anywhere, and it says right on it, it's food safe and it's non-toxic. And that's what you want. But it doesn't matter really, because they're not going to be feeding on it. I would still get non-toxic paint. But don't paint the inside. There's no reason to paint the inside. As far as the bottoms, some of the bottoms are clear. Now, if you want to paint them, that's fine. See, some of them are white and some of them are clear. The bottom doesn't matter at all. It's the top. You want the top painted red, then paint a yellow flower. Now, I have painted purple flowers and pink flowers, and they're so used to them here that they will come to them. They know what they are. It doesn't matter what I paint on them. Even if I don't paint on them and just use my soldering iron and make holes, they come to them now because they know what they are. But being that you'll probably be making them and they don't know what they are, you're going to really want to paint them red and get a few with yellow flowers and put a dot. And then what you're going to do after they're all painted is you're going to take a hot knitting needle. I don't think you could use a drill on this. Use a hot knitting needle, a hot nail, or I use my soldering iron. You all know how I use my soldering iron. And I make a nice clean hole. You want that hole to be smooth. So after you make the hole, use your fingers, rub on it, make sure the hole is really smooth. And that's all there is to it. Then at that point, all you're doing is making your hummingbird feeder food, which is 1/4 of a cup of sugar to 1 cup of water. You mix that up and you put it in. So that's all there is to it. I hope I gave you some ideas on how to make a fun hummingbird feeder. You know, something different that you can put outside. I've got them all over, hanging in different ways to bring the birds in. Of course, get some regular hummingbird feeders out there so they come to that first, and then they'll look over and see the dot. So with that, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye.